गिरिवरदारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरदारी जय गिरिवरदारी जय गिरिवरदारी जय गिरिवरदारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरदारी जय गिरिवरदारी जय जय गिरिवरदारी जय गिरिवरदारी हे यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुना जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा कुंज विहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सुध श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सुध श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की व्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जगन्नाथ पुरी धाम की मथुरा धाम की जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र महारानी की श्री श्री निताई गौर सुंदर की श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की श्री श्री राधा माधव की श्री कृष्ण भगवान की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय यशोदनंदन दामोदर भगवान की पतित पावन श्रील प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Mudiraye. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Chapter 8, Text 14. Ananya Cheda Sadadam Yo Mam Smaradi Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. Ananya Cheda Sadadam Yo Mam Smaradi Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. Ananya Cheda Sadadam Yo Mam Smaradi Nityashaha Tasyagam Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. Translation: for one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pradha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Purport: this verse especially describes the final destination attained by the unalloyed devotees who serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhakti Yoga. Previous verses have mentioned 4 different kinds of devotees: the distressed, the inquisitive, those who seek material gain, and the speculative philosophers. Different processes of liberation have also been described: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Hatha Yoga. The principles of these yoga systems have some bhakti added, but this verse particularly mentions pure Bhakti Yoga without any mixture of Jnana, Karma, or Hatha. As indicated by the word Ananya Chedaha, in pure Bhakti Yoga, the devotee desires nothing but Krishna. A pure devotee does not desire promotion to heavenly planets, nor does he seek oneness with the Brahmajyoti or salvation or liberation from material entanglement. A pure devotee does not desire anything. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pure devotee is called Nishkama, which means he has no desire for self-interest. Perfect peace belongs to him alone, not to them who strive for personal gain. Whereas Jnana Yogi, Karma Yogi, or Hatha Yogi has his own selfish interests. A perfect devotee has no desire other than to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord says that for anyone who is unflinchingly devoted to Him, he is easy to attain. A pure devotee always engages in devotional service to Krishna in one of his various personal features. Krishna has various plenary expansions and incarnations such as Rama and Nrsimha, and a devotee can choose to fix his mind in loving service to any of these transcendental forms of the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee meets with none of the problems that plague the practitioners of other yogas. Bhakti Yoga is very simple and pure and easy to perform. One can begin simply by chanting Hare Krishna. The Lord is merciful to all, but as we have already explained, He is especially inclined toward those who always serve Him without deviation. The Lord helps such devotees in various ways, as stated in the Vedas, Katha Upanishad 1.2.23. Yam evaisha vrunude tena labhyas tasyaisha atma vivrunide tanum swam. One who is fully surrendered and engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord can understand the Supreme Lord as He is, and as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, the Lord gives such a devotee sufficient intelligence so that ultimately the devotee can attain Him in his spiritual kingdom. The special qualification of the pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Krishna without deviation. And without considering the time or place, there should be no impediments. He should be able to carry out his service anywhere and at any time. Some say that devotees should remain in holy places like Vrindavana or some holy town where the Lord lived. But a pure devotee can live anywhere and create the atmosphere of Vrindavana by his devotional service. It was Sri Advaita who told Lord Chaitanya, "Wherever you are, O Lord, there is Vrindavana," as indicated by the words Sadaram and Nityasaha, which mean always, regularly, or every day. A pure devotee constantly remembers Krishna and meditates upon Him. These are qualifications of the pure devotee for whom the Lord is most easily attainable. Bhakti Yoga is the system that the Gita recommends above all others. Generally, the Bhakti Yogis are engaged in 5 different ways. Santa Bhakta, engaged in devotional service in neutrality. Dasya Bhakta, engaged in devotional service as servant. Sakya Bhakta, engaged as friend. Vatsalya Bhakta, engaged as parent. And Madhurya Bhakta, engaged as conjugal lover of the Supreme Lord. In any of these ways, the pure devotee is always constantly engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord and cannot forget the Supreme Lord. And so, for him, the Lord is easily attained. A pure devotee cannot forget the Supreme Lord for a moment. And similarly, the Supreme Lord cannot forget his pure devotee for a moment. This is the great blessing of the Krishna conscious process of chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanat Mirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Milidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Jayapatagat Swamin Nidhi Namine Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Grabha Pradayine Gaura Gada Damadaya Nagara Gramadarine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desadarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So here Krishna is giving solution for all of us. How to go back to Him. How to go back to Krishna's planet, Goloka Vrindavana. And this practice, we have to do something seriously all the time, because the Supreme Lord is saying. What He is saying? Ananya Cheda Sadadam. Ananya Cheda means without deviation. Why Krishna is using this word, without deviation of the mind? Because mind will be easily deviated. Easily it will be deviated. And Prabhupada is writing, the special qualification of the pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Krishna without deviation. It's all important. Important point. Pure devotee is Lakshana. The symptom of a pure devotee is he's always thinking of Krishna without deviation. So only if we remember Krishna without deviation, all the time. Satatam Nityashaha Nityayuktasya. So Krishna is demanding all the time. But mostly in the conditioned state, they have a subtle body, right? Subtle body is made up of false ego, mind and intelligence. Because the mind is always under false ego. Mind will always think about matter. It will always think about matter only. Even while chanting Hare Krishna also. Correct or not? Right? Devotees would have experienced. Even while chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra also. That's the fact. The reality we should, if we want to raise ourselves to the pure devotee stage, then we should practice seriously and understand the important realizations of Srila Prabhupada. Then only we can raise ourselves to the pure devotee stage. Prabhupada is saying here, pure devotee, it's mentioned here, pure devotee does not desire anything. These are all important points. Absolute teaching. These are all absolute teachings. A pure devotee does not desire anything. He desires only Krishna. When a sadhaka means a practitioner of Bhakti Yoga. When he starts Bhakti Yoga practice, he will not come to the stage immediately, to this stage. It will take time. That is why Krishna is demanding Nityashaha. Why? Because our mind only will desire. Our mind only will desire about matter. That is why Ananya Cheta. Cheta means mind. Many places Cheta also refers to consciousness, but here it refers to mind. Mind has to be engaged in remembering Krishna. Even actually, strictly speaking, our chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra also, if it should be a japa, actually, as per Shastra, tripod effect should happen. Tripod effect means 3 effects should happen. One is, when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, sound vibration is produced from the tongue. And the sound vibration, it should travel through the ear. That is the second effect. The third effect is, mind should receive the mantra. This is mentioned in the Acharya's scriptures. Acharyas have given commentaries. Based on their commentaries, we are discussing. Mind should receive the mantra. Then only, technically, it is japa. So when Prabhupada is saying in the purports, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this is the great blessing of the Krishna conscious process of chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When Prabhupada is saying chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra means, they should take this chanting as per the definition. Tripod effect. Prabhupada never compromised chanting mechanically. No. He should chant Hare Krishna. Something is better than nothing. Okay? If somebody is not at all chanting Krishna's names, to start with, it is okay. But if we want to go back to Krishna's planet, Goloka Vrindavana, and as per the definition, we should practice. What is that? Sound vibration is produced from the tongue, and it should travel through the ear, and mind should receive the mantra. If mind is not receiving, correct or not, we have got experience, while chanting Hare Krishna, mind will be traveling. Mind will be traveling, mind will be thinking about matter. That is the meaning of sadhana. Sadhana means my mind, our mind doesn't like to remember Krishna. I have to bring it back again and remember Krishna. So, technically speaking, chanting Hare Krishna is smarana. Prabhupada has mentioned in several places. Chanting Hare Krishna is smarana. If it should be a smarana, mind should think about the Lord. Then only it is smarana. Simply mechanical chanting cannot be a smarana. So that is why Krishna is saying Ananya Cheda, without deviation of the mind. See, these words are very wonderful. Ananya Cheda. So without deviation. Our mind now, immediately it will go towards matter. So that is the meaning of sadhana. Forcefully we should bring it back. Again remember Krishna. While chanting Hare Krishna, when we hear the sound vibration, when we hear the sound vibration, then mind cannot think about matter. Or, in other words, we can say, while chanting Hare Krishna, if our mind is thinking about matter, that means I am not hearing. I am not hearing the sound vibration. The process is perfect, and that is what Srila Prabhupada taught all of us. You should chant Hare Krishna, hearing the sound vibration. When we hear the sound vibration, immediately mind will receive the mantra. So sound vibration is transcendental. It should go inside our heart. Then only purification is happening. If we don't hear the sound vibration, then purification will not happen. It should go inside. Then all the anarthas are there. Anarthas are subtle impressions from crores of janmas are stored in our false ego. When all those anarthas are erased, then he will not desire anything in this material world. Till that time he will desire. He will desire something. Constantly the false ego will produce lust, greed, anger, envy, pride, and illusion. These 6 vices are constantly produced from the false ego, and it is reflected through the mind. Constantly. Correct or not? Right? Everybody has got experience. That is why mind is a punishment. We all rejected Krishna, no? And came here to enjoy matter. So this is the punishment for all the jivas to handle the mind. Mind can be controlled only if we remember Krishna. And again, that remembering the Lord, it should be constant. Because Krishna is saying, Nityashaha, Sadadam, Nitya Yuktasya. 3 words he has used in one sloka. And again, Ananya Cheda also confirms the same meaning. Gives the same meaning only, without deviation. That means constant remembrance of the Supreme Lord is required. Otherwise, our mind will suddenly go tangent. It will be deviated. Correct or not? Right? Mind will think very awkward way. For crores of janmas, whatever thoughts produced by the mind, we have this habit of executing all those thoughts. That is our habit. So that habit will continue in this life also, even after taking up Bhakti Yoga also. That is why there is a sloka in Vishnu Purana. Sahanistan mahachitram samoha sacha vibramaha yan muhurtam kshanam vabi vasudevam nachintayet. Vishnu Purana, the sloka is there. Yan muhurtam kshanam vabi, that much seriousness is required. Vasudevam nachintayet. Vasudeva, Krishna. If we don't remember Krishna even a moment, Prabhupada is saying a pure devotee, he will not forget Krishna. A pure devotee cannot forget the Supreme Lord for a moment. See, it's confirmed. Same thing only Puranas are also saying. A pure devotee cannot forget the Supreme Lord for a moment. So we are not pure devotees. Because we are always forgetting Krishna. We are always forgetting Krishna because we are always thinking about matter. So Vishnu Purana is saying, even a moment if we forget Krishna, then that particular moment we will be in the biggest confusion. Such a Brahmaha. Mahach. Sagan is tan Mahach, it is mentioned. Mahach means Mahat, great, or biggest. We will be in a biggest confusion. Why? Because the vasanas stored in the false ego, the subtle impressions from the previous janmas, suddenly it will contact the mind and mind will produce, it's called mano vikara. Mano vikara. Mind will think something in an awkward way. Right? So that is why Prabhupada has mentioned in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, spiritual life is like walking on the razor's edge. A little inattentiveness will create havoc and bloodshed. Prabhupada has mentioned this. Why it is like walking on the razor's edge? Because our false ego, suddenly it will contact the mind and mind will produce something, unwanted thoughts. And we will execute those thoughts. So we cannot just take it for granted. Automatically I am safe. No. As long as we are in this material existence, we are in a danger zone only. So that is why whatever Krishna has prescribed, that practice we should do very seriously. That's why it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. Intense. Nitya Yuktasya. In the 14th chapter also Krishna is saying, Avyabhicharena Bhakti Yogena. Avyabhicharena Bhakti Yogena means unfailing in all circumstances. So here also Ananya Cheda, without deviation of the mind. Because if we forget Krishna for a moment, that's enough. We will be in the biggest confusion. Then Samoha means we will be in the biggest illusion. Correct? Because Krishna is only real. Mata paradaram nanyat kinjudasti dhananjaya. Krishna is saying there is no truth superior to me. There is no truth superior to me. Everything rests on me only. So Krishna is the absolute truth. So if we don't remember Krishna, then we will be in illusion only. Sure. We will be thinking about illusory affairs only. The result will be Jiva will undergo repeated birth and death. So before a person engages in sense gratification means sense enjoyment. Before a person engages in sense enjoyment, first thoughts are produced. Thoughts are produced in the mind. After that only, it is turning as execution. When a person engages in sense enjoyment, then two reactions are coming. One reaction is he will undergo sufferings. He will undergo sufferings externally. That is called karma. Another reaction is deadly. Another reaction is a subtle impression of that particular sense enjoyment. It is stored, it is created in false ego. That is only dangerous. They are called anarthas. So that is why Srila Rupa Goswami, one of the direct disciple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saying anartha nivritti. We have this aim. We have this goal. Anartha nivritti. Artha means valuable. Anartha means unwanted, unnecessary. Yes, for a jiva, desiring anything other than Krishna is unnecessary, unwanted. Because jiva is a spiritual entity, part and parcel of Krishna. So we should always desire Krishna only. So if we desire anything in this world, then naturally it is unnecessary for the jiva. So we are only holding tightly unwanted desires. And we are only creating future bodies, more and more bodies. Future bodies we are only creating because of our unwanted desires. There is a nice incident. There is a Muni, a great sage, Ashtavakra Muni. Ashtavakra Muni, when he was giving Srimad Bhagavatam lectures, after the lecture was over, he asked his disciples, anybody is having any questions? Then one disciple asked, Gurudev, I have this question. You said that we are spirit soul, we are Atma, we are not this body. Atma is not having any connection with this material world. You explained. What I am not able to understand, can you please explain one more time? So Ashtavakra Muni explained further. So next day also, the sage Ashtavakra Muni, he gave Bhagavatam lecture. And again the same disciple got up and asked the same question. Again Ashtavakra Muni explained very patiently. Third day also he asked the same question. So Ashtavakra Muni, what he did now, in order to teach his disciple, he went and embraced one pillar. Forcefully he embraced the pillar and shouted loudly, please release me, please release me. Then the disciples, they were thinking, no, Gurudev, he only went and embraced the pillar voluntarily, but he is asking us to release. So disciples were confused, but okay, they will execute Guru's instructions. So they forcefully separated him from the pillar. Again Ashtavakra Muni embraced the pillar and shouted, please release me, please release me. 2 times, 3 times like this happened. Then disciples asked, oh Gurudev, you are only you are only embracing the pillar. But why are you asking us to release from embracing the pillar? Why are you asking this? Then Ashtavakra Muni told, yes, your behavior also is like that only. We are only embracing Maya. We are only embracing Maya by desiring something in this material world. Why we are desiring? The desires. First, it is actually produced in the thoughts level. The thought level. So mind is only producing that thought. That is why Krishna is demanding, if we always remember Krishna without any deviation, then all these material vasanas stored in the false ego, it will be erased. Proportionately, it will be erased. The more and more, Krishna is demanding sadhanam. All the time we should remember Krishna. He is called pure devotee. He is called pure devotee. All the time you will be remembering Krishna only. So we are not in that stage. We have a long way to go because we are not remembering Krishna all the time. Everyone knows what our mind is thinking. That is the meaning of sadhana. Forcefully I have to do. So the desires are produced first in the thought level from the mind. And again mind is processing all those thoughts as desire. Thinking, feeling, willing. Willing means desire. So mind is only converting those thoughts into a strong desire. Mind has got that capacity. So when the desires are created by the mind, naturally we don't have any choice to execute only. But to execute only. Because in the thought level only we can stop. We have the capacity to stop the thoughts. But when we allow all those thoughts to be converted as a desire, then we don't have any choice. Simply to execute only. Jai Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Maharani ki. So when we execute all those desires, then we are caught. We are caught in that vicious cycle. We will undergo the karmic reactions in the form of sufferings, and the vasanas will be created. And all those vasanas now, to erase all those vasanas, it takes time. So as soon as we engage in the sense enjoyment activity, it is deeply ingrained in our consciousness. Deeply. Vasanas are created, very deeply. It will not go so easily. Prabhupada is writing, sometimes the vasanas will stay for janmas also. For janmas also it will stay. So our responsibility is, devotee's responsibility is to erase all those vasanas. So this is our goal. Our vasanas should be erased. For that, what we have to do, what type of practice we should do? We should remember Krishna. So Krishna is saying here, whoever remembers me all the time without any deviation, he can only come back to me. The Supreme Lord is saying, we all want to go back to Goloka Vrindavana, Krishna's planet. Right? We have got experience in this material world, it's full of sufferings only. So we all want to go back to Goloka Vrindavana. But we should practice the Supreme Lord's teachings. Supreme Lord Krishna, he is demanding, whoever is remembering me all the time, he only can come back to me. Tasyagam sulabha partha, he only can come back to me. Why? Because when we remember Krishna all the time, what happens? One side vasanas are erased, another side we will develop some attraction towards Krishna. And that attraction will become big, and finally it will be converted as love for the Lord. First, initially it will be created as attraction for the Lord. So only if we have love for Krishna, we can enter into Goloka Vrindavana. So our mind automatically it will not remember Krishna. Even while chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra also. Because devotees are also sitting here. I am speaking more deeply. Even while chanting Hare Krishna also, mind is not thinking about Krishna. Mind is thinking about matter or about world. Everybody has got experience. So, many times we discuss sadhana means it has got four aspects. Four aspects are there in the sadhana. One is, our mind doesn't like it. then forcefully I have to do for a higher goal, to reach the higher goal, and I have to practice. These four aspects are there in the sadhana. So sadhana, if we do mechanically chanting, then technically it is not sadhana. Sadhana means my mind doesn't like it, I have to do forcefully. So every day while chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we have to hear the sound vibration, and somehow or other we have to do it, and mind should be remembering Krishna. Then only vasanas are erased. Because vasanas are, I read somewhere else, vasanas are subtler than thoughts. This is interesting. Thoughts are there, thoughts are produced in the mind. But vasanas are subtler than thoughts. More subtle. So most of the time we will not know whether vasanas are there or not. We will not know. Only when it takes the shape of a thought, then only we will know, oh, this thought I am getting. So, if we want our vasanas to be erased, so before we develop love for Krishna, no, all the vasanas should be erased. Then only one can develop love for Krishna. As long as we have this material desire, no, Prabhupada is writing in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, unless one is freed from all material desires, one cannot taste the honey from the Lord's lotus feet. Very strong teachings. The Lord's lotus feet, Krishna's lotus feet, it is full of nectar. And if we want to taste that nectar, the qualification is we should be freed from all material desires. That is what Srila Rupa Goswami, also the direct disciple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is teaching. Anya Avilashida Sunyam. So, Yasmared Pundarikaksham Sabhakya Abhyandara Suchihi. If we remember Krishna, then internal cleanliness is happening. Internal cleanliness is most important for a progressing devotee. Correct? We have a goal, no? We want to develop love for Krishna. And what is the obstacle to develop love for Krishna? These anarthas only. These anarthas are the obstacle. So devotee is interested in removing all these anarthas. And for that, they have to remember Krishna. Then internal cleanliness is happening. So, in many places it's mentioned, actually all our angas in the Bhakti Yoga, chanting, hearing about Krishna, serving, doing varieties of services, the purpose of all these angas, no, is to remember Krishna only. So remember Krishna. I read recently in by Srila Pipalayana Rishi, a great Rishi, is saying in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, is saying that of the Navavida Bhakti, of all the 9 types of devotional service are there, right? Of all 9 types of devotional service, he is saying Smarana is best. Smarana is best to devotional service. He is giving a reason. What is the reason? He is saying, of all the senses, mind is the best sense. Correct or not? Krishna is saying, Indriyana Manaschasmi. Of all the senses, I am the mind. Why Krishna is saying? Because mind is the best sense. All other senses are in the gross level only, situated in the gross level, but the mind is situated in the very subtle level. In fact, all the gross level senses are tied with the mind only. Connected with the mind only. So that is why Sri Pipalayana Rishi is saying, Since mind is the best of all the senses, engaging the mind in remembering Krishna, it is the topmost service of the 9 Navavida Bhakti. Krishna is also saying in the 6th chapter, Madhudena Andaratmana Shraddhavan Bhajate. Bhakti Yogi means, who is Bhakti Yogi? We have to study deeply. Who is a Bhakti Yogi? Madhudena Andaratmana. Andaratmana means internally. Internally he is fixed in me, Madhudena. That means he is remembering Krishna all the time. With full faith, Shraddhavan. Again, is interesting. Only if we have that spiritual faith on the Supreme Lord, then only we can remember Krishna all the time. Because of the influence of the lower modes, Rajas and Tamas, material faiths will be created within us. When material faiths are created, then we will think about matter only. Our mind will think about matter only. That is why Krishna is saying Shraddhavan. With full faith, if anyone is Bhakti Yogi means with full faith, he is always thinking about me only internally. That is called bhajate. That is called devotional service. Actually, that is the devotional service. So, all our services now we are doing, while doing, we should see that mind is engaged. Mind is engaged in remembering Krishna. So, I was discussing with some other devotee. The chanting Hare Krishna is the topmost, right? Topmost devotional service. Even while chanting itself, mind is thinking about matter. Then what to speak of other services? While doing varieties of services, we will be doing the minute details only, but mind will be thinking something else. So that is why Krishna is demanding here, Sadaram, Ananya Cheda. Why he is saying Ananya Cheda? Very easily mind will be deviated from Krishna. So in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita I read, this world is called distracting world. Distracting world. Very easily we will be distracted from Krishna. So with this I will finish now. In Vishnu Purana also there is a beautiful quote. Somebody is living in Satya Yuga. Okay. But if his mind is not fixed on Govinda, then for him alone, Kali Yuga will manifest. But a person who is living in Kali Yuga, if he fixes his mind always in Govinda, then for him alone Satya Yuga will manifest. It's a beautiful quote from Vishnu Purana. So we are all living in Kali Yuga only. So Shastras are prescribing for all of us a special method. What is that? Somehow or other mind should be remembering Krishna. That we should watch. Whether my mind is remembering Krishna or not. Constantly. Then for us alone, Krishna will protect us from the evil effects of Kali Yuga. He will be like living in Satya Yuga. For him alone, that atmosphere Krishna will create. That is the meaning of that. So, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is giving prescription to all of us. We are all patients, right? We are all patients, and Krishna is the Supreme Doctor. He is giving prescription. What is the disease we are undergoing? We are undergoing material life. That is the disease. That is the disease of the Jiva. Jiva, being a spiritual entity, we should be living in the spiritual world with spiritual body. That is our natural position. But we are loitering here in this material world because of our
material enjoyment tendency. This is the disease of the jiva. The Krishna is a supreme doctor, so we are all patients. So he is giving a prescription in this sloka. What is the prescription? Whoever is remembering me always without any deviation, then he can, tasyagam sulabha partha, he can easily come back to me. So we all want to go back to Goloka Vrindavana. But at the same time, if we don't want to practice Krishna's teaching, then there is no hope. So that is the meaning of Tivred Bhakti Yogena. With great intensity, we have to practice Bhakti Yoga. Because 1 second, if we forget Krishna, that's enough. Immediately Maya will enter. Maya, no, actually our mind is the agent of Maya. The false ego in our subtle body, it is created by Maya. And that false ego is constantly contacting the mind. I was discussing with some other devotee. Mind, no, it is produced by Sattva Guna only. Mind is very good. It is produced by Sattva Guna. But because of constant association with false ego, mind is polluted. So, it is our responsibility to keep the mind under Atma, not under false ego. That Krishna is teaching in 6th chapter. If you remember Krishna, then the mind will be under the jurisdiction of Atma. If you don't remember Krishna, then mind will come under the influence of false ego. The result is, we will take more and more material bodies. In this way only, we are only creating more and more material bodies because of our enjoyment tendency. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande.
Hare Krishna. Anybody have any questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice class. Prabhu, you told कि Maha Mantra after vibration, that Maha Mantra chanting, that vibration we should hear, then that will enter to our heart. And Anatha is inside our heart. Please elaborate what is heart. Actually, that material heart or something else?
Very good. Nice question. We have 3 hearts. We have 3 hearts actually. One is the physical pump. The physical pump. The doctors know they will do this surgery. Ventricle and so many things are. Right? Heart surgery. That is a physical pump. And another heart we have, that is emotional heart. Emotional heart. Emotions are produced. That is actually, in our language, if we want to say, that is mind. And one more deep heart we have, that is spiritual heart. Spiritual heart. So, when we use our emotional heart in remembering Krishna, then we are entering into the deep level spiritual heart. Right? So, when we hear the sound vibration of the holy name is transcendental, spiritual. If we don't hear, the sound vibration will penetrate through the ear and our mind will receive. When our mind is receiving this, the sound vibration, what happens now? One side, anarthas stored in the false ego is erased. Another side, mind will not come under the influence of false ego at that particular moment. Right? When we don't remember Krishna, immediately mind is coming under the influence of false ego. As soon as we remember Krishna, that particular moment, mind is coming under the influence of Atma. Temporarily, the mind will be away from the false ego. That is why when we hear some lectures or when we hear some Kirtans, temporarily mind is remembering the Lord. So we are getting some solace. Correct or not? Right? Some solace we are getting. That is the effect. That is the effect. So we are touching the reality. But a glimpse only we are getting it. But Krishna is demanding all the time. All the time we should remember Krishna. Then all the anarthas will be erased. Then all the time we will get that is called ecstasy. Ecstasy. Spiritual bliss. Okay? So it is our choice. Whether I am spending my 24 hours remembering Krishna or not, that is my choice. I have free will. Executing our free will properly or improperly, it is my choice. Krishna will not interfere. Okay, bro? Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Anybody have Tamil ஏதாவது கேள்விகள் இருந்தாலும் கேட்கலாம். Okay, we profusely thank His Grace Srinivasa Hari Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Upcoming festivals announcements. Coming